You are listening to the MVP Podcast.
Thing I wanted to touch on, in your journey of becoming the CTO, right, or the CIO over at the agency now. And, one thing that stood out to me is that you really delve in, to what they were using, how they were using it, if this maybe fulfilled another role, like another action that they could maybe cut out of this solution. You really delve into it. That is great to see as a leader, because as you come into those positions, you got to step up, right? It's tough. You're going to a new culture. You feel like you need to make an impact, right? There's a lot of things that come into it. And the fact that you have been doing that and taking a step back, say, hey, that's a leadership quality. And that's awesome that you've been able to do that. And the one thing that stood out to me as well, you said that because you've been able, this is your focus, right? So you've been able to fully focus on technology. How's it pieced together instead of duct taping, welding it together? I'm on the tech side of things. I sell it. I typically would work with agencies that have someone that focuses on that. Why? Because if I'm talking to an agency that maybe 5-6 employees, let's be honest, they probably don't have the bandwidth. But also we were talking about this earlier. It is the vendor's job to educate them to how to easily do it. That is also what you're signing up to be. You're not just selling all cool features. That's not the point. The point is to dig deep. How does this really benefit my daily process? That's what I've had to do. That's what I've learned in, agency Wonderite and now Glovebox, right?
Well, think about the stop pause real quick, Danny.
Yeah.
You just said that not carriers or tech vendors need to do tech vendors' job to teach the agency how to use the technology as easy as possible, right?
Right.
That's part of what we call onboarding. That's what we consider that. How are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
Well, as a salesperson, but I know it's two pronged there. Like it goes hand in hand.
If you work for a tech vendor, you should know the product, be able to know the product in and out.
Yeah.
Some way, facet or another, right? If you don't, you got someone you can click right on. They're going to help us figure that situation or solution out.
Right.
Our agencies onboarding their employees the right way, right? So if we were to hire at the Insurance Alliance a new producer tomorrow, how quickly are we going to be able to get that dude day one to writing his first policy? How quickly are we going to be able to do that? Do we have training manuals? Do we have a learning management system? Do we have an internal training system?
Yep.
I will admit this. He gets mad. I don't think he cares, but I had very little training. And that's something that as I came into the agency, it was like, as we create this and build out this ecosystem of the Insurance Alliance and our foundational educational services, we've got to have video trainings. We've got to have a library of here's how you fix broken shit. Here's how you start your account. Here's how you get Outlook downloaded onto your computer. Here's how you get Teams set up.
Yep.
That stuff, right? That is so important that I'm sure it's taking people month and a half, 2 months just to get them credentials and logins to places to get them trained so that they can write business. And then there they are 5-6 months later, and that producer feels like he can finally go quote a home and auto insurance policy.
How bad of an experience is that from an employee standpoint?
Awful.
Too?
It would be complete. It's terrible, right?
Right.
And I think these principals or agency owners need to spend. If you're the principal owner and you're doing technology and you're doing accounting and billing and whatnot, that's great. Spend time with each employee and ask them to show you how they quote. Ask them to show you what systems they use when they do this. Where do you go get some of these records from? Hey, did you know? Why are you going and getting the year or why are you going to see what type of roof that is when we have Risk Advisor? And if you would have just put it in a Risk Advisor, it would pull some of that data for you.
Right.
How many of your agents are doing things wrong because you just given them free reign to go quote and figure out how to do business all that they want? I've spent time with each one of our employees,
Yep.
right? Having them create training videos for me so I can see how they do it, and then analyzing on the back end, how can we make what they did and what they do better and more efficient?
Yep.
Okay, so this Jake, I've shown Jake has this, and this. Jake showed me how he uses it and how he does it, but I don't think Jake realizes that he can, if he just would have hit Control Alt this, that Jake could autofill those apps.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, just those
Right.
little things that helping continuing the ongoing training of those employees with how as your systems evolve and get smarter. Right? I mean, how many
At the end of the day, that's how you also scale. Like, so if an employee leaves, which can happen, how much does it cost you to bring on someone new? How much time is that going to take? If you had everything down, the process down to a T, to where you know that if they did this, and this, it took them a month to get this done. You could predict how much it costs to acquire a new employee and what value that they would probably bring at some point.
Exactly.
And that's what you're doing. Again, those are huge things. We always talk about, yeah.
Danny, it also makes you realize, damn, Susie actually could be better as a CSR than trying to do this to a couple other things for us.
Right.
Or, man, that virtual employee knows Outlook better than any of us. He should probably be helping us out with technology. Let's instead of saying, he can't sell shit, he's not very good producer, let's kick him out of the agency. That some bitch probably is really, really good at something else.
Exactly. And they know the workflows and everything. Why not just move them into something else?
Exactly. Yeah. How often is that being completed? How often are we monitoring how we're quoting and writing business? There's no reason that if you can write a damn thing for a year. Jake's very, very good with a lot of stuff that could still help be more beneficial to the agency. Right? We're all trying to put it together. Let's all learn and help each other out. We never want to, that's not culture. Culture is not me showing you how to do things and kicking you to the curb because you just didn't sell anything. Culture is finding the worth of that employee, making the best out of what they're really good at, and implementing them into a role that's helping everybody out. I mean, that's that, in my opinion, that doesn't.
That's a good leadership culture. It's one of the best cultures that I've been in, is taking the individual and the leader doing the work to show them what to do and believing in them. Sometimes we always look for experience. I get it, right? But maybe that's because you might need to look within. Listen, guys, my wife's a business owner, okay? Comfort Dental, franchisee owner. I know exactly what owners go through daily because she comes home and tells me about it. The only difference is it's dental work, and she like has to produce. She literally has to work on the patient, right? But she still has to run a business. It's very similar. It really is. So, guys, I get it. And what she's done, like she's had, just so you talked about something, she had someone she brought on and they didn't pan out in this role, but they were there for 9 months. She's like, well, have you ever thought about maybe doing this? I saw you were really good at this. She literally just moved her over into this position. Now she's crushing it. She didn't have to go out, pay for like Indeed to find an employee with those set of skills. And now that one employee is liking what they're doing and they have a better culture, like, those things matter. So to kind of give you an example, a real life example, like that happened at her. Yeah, it happens all the time. And you should do that.
Well, Danny, and it goes back to the reason why at the beginning of this, it doesn't matter if your business is insurance, if it's real estate, if it's automation company, if it's application, it does not matter at all, right? Because Jason and Travis's company, Virtual Intelligence, had the same infrastructural issues, and it's amazing now that we needed to get a CRM implemented immediately. We hired
Yeah.
Davey Holt as the president, right? So we needed to implement a CRM immediately. But guess what? We couldn't implement a CRM immediately until we did what? Until we fixed and rebuilt our internal infrastructure on communication and how we store business and how we do business without having a description of what we do, right?
Yep.
Foundational. So now we're able to go into HubSpot and make those things work like they should with our Microsoft ecosystem, because we've set it up the right way. We've taken the time. Yeah, it's taken 5 months, but still, I'd rather take that 5 months and make sure it's correct and right, so that the next 25 years that it runs like a freaking diesel, you know?
Right.
So yeah, it's I think it's happening a lot more than people think inside of their agencies. And let me just tell you, I've talked to 5 or 6 agencies that are having the same issue that we had experienced when I first started.
Well, just to kind of recap that, guys, because I think with Mitch's new experience, he's gained a lot of insight on, or maybe a different perspective too, and like what you need to do. Maybe take a step back, look at this first. So look at your internal infrastructure. What's going on there? Evaluate what tech you have again. Are you duct taping it together? Are you welding it together? And maybe, and what he means by that, just to clarify, probably the integration, right? Can you get away with maybe some dupe entry here and sacrifice this? Or there's, he delve in, and you guys should be doing that too. Not saying that you don't, but really take a good look and see what else you might be able to do. If you need to hire someone, really easy to onboard them. If you get a new tech platform, you also aid, instead of all being on the tech platform, you also aid in the onboarding, because it's a two-way street. All right? It's a two-way street.
Two-way street. Danny, this is last thing, and we're trying to make
Yeah.
podcasts a little bit quicker, shorter, and to the points a little bit more. But
Yeah.
last thing too, maybe I've asked you this question just when we were on a phone call or a little friendship, hold hands and talk and see how your day went call. Did I ever ask you, when I first started, I'm going to ask you now, when I first started, I'm sitting in there, dove right into agency Zoom, looking at stuff, making sure this is connected, see if why do we have this, whole 9 yards. And then I start getting busy, right? We're like, okay, we're switching from this Google Drive to Microsoft and switching our domains, redoing our website. I mean, dude, lots of stuff, right? So as my to-do list went from, go analyze all of this to, all of stuff. I'm sitting there one night, overwhelmed as all get out. And I think this is 90% of business owners, right? I'm going to talk on a technology standpoint, on an emphasis here. But I'm sitting there going, what in the did I get myself into? I'm saying, what in the world am I getting myself into? Well, we've been fixing AZ, we've been fixing AMS, or switching from QQ to 360, getting all of that migration, making sure it's working right. We're sitting there spending all this time and effort inside of the CRM and AMS 360 so that our producers can be organized with their tasks, their to-dos, their activities, their customers, their pipelines, etc. But I go, bing, little light bulb lit off from the top of my head and said, we don't have something to keep us organized as a business. Do you have an internal management system that allows you to track business activity? All right, we're going to implement AMS 360. It's going to take us 5 months. We're going to do this, and this. Are you able to see inside of your agency what stage you're at in implementation of a technology you adopted this year and or last year that you're still trying to figure out? Do you know? Do you have a plan? Does it show your plan? Are you keeping track of, I had 16 people in our office need their AMS 360 reconfigured. Well, you know what that means? I didn't do a good enough job training and showing them how to do that. That helps you find your faults. But yet again, it helps you organize rather than putting it all on a paper like this
Yep.
It's actually in a place where you can organize it. Your team, your executive team can manage
And act on it.
and act on those tasks or to-dos. And then you
Yep.
can delegate, right? Hey, I need this, all these links. Okay, that's a virtual intelligence job or a virtual employee job that I can tag that
Yep.
off to. Boom, send it to them, assign it, comes back. Then you can take action and get it to the people that they need. Once I started implementing Microsoft's planner, Microsoft, dude, has taken a just absolute 27-step story height jump from where they've been. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But being able to see that all in a graph of saying, okay, we have this many pending tech requests, we got this many pending marketing requests, and be able to manage that is incredible. So
that was gold. I've been on a lot of calls, and I get a lot of when people say, we'll get to that when we can. What is that? That literally just validates what you said. So you're telling me you don't have control over what you do next or know what you need to do next? That's what you just told me. And that's a good thing. Again, guys, we got to take a step back, look at ourselves in the mirror. How else can we do it? You should even do that personally.
Bingo.
Not to go off on a philosophical thing, but
big word.
But you got, I know, dude, I'm terrible with words. Speech impediment back when I was a kid. But like you gotta have a guide, a list. What are you gonna act on? And I took a look at myself, just so everyone knows. I took a look at myself and I said, last year in 2023, what did I want to do? I wanted to start a podcast where I brought people on to talk about tech and build awareness around and try to build some excitement from a younger generation. That's why I did it. And you know what? I wrote it out and I have steps in what I did. And now it's gone to this. Now it's kind of starting slow. Now it's just keeping going up to where now, as Mitch knows, there's another project in the works.
I can't wait for that one.
Yeah.
That might be a breakthrough. Like
I've been going back and forth with a bunch of people on ideas about what other really good marketers and have done, and to implement that idea here. It's going to be unique. We'll see, but we're so close to getting more excitement from a technology standpoint here, right? And there was this big boom, 2019, all tech came in, and there's excitement then. But now we got to bring the younger people in, because now the money's here, and bring these younger cats in, and let's keep building good stuff. So other than that, let's close it. I'll have you close it. I know this is Talkin Tech, but close it out, man.
I haven't closed a show in a while. I'll close on a couple of things. One, I think, like Davey said, or not Davey, Danny. I've talked to Davey too much now. What Danny said was exactly what Danny said was, look yourself in the mirror. I always had a baseball coach tying it into baseball here at Ball State, Rich Maloney. He always said, hey, check up from the neck up.
Yep.
Check up from the neck up. Look yourself in the mirror. Don't look at anything else, because nothing's making the decision that's making the decision in here, right? Are you doing it most efficiently? Are you happy with where you're at? Are you happy with the processes that you've had in play? Do they need changes? Take a chance to look at where your foundation's at in your tech and see if there needs to be any fixes or updates or changes that can be made there. Because if you make some minor changes there, it may make a massive difference in what your technology looks like down the road as you build out and scale your agency there. So that being said, be on the lookout for Indie Tech 2024 information, September 24th through 26th in the heartland of Indianapolis, Indiana, once again at the Convention Center. Like I said, we've got a really, really cool, I don't even like saying lineup, because it's not even about a lineup. It's really, truly about helping you this year, helping you when you go into classes. You're learning from agencies, agents, CSRs, people that are doing the daily dirty work, I call it, inside of your agency management systems. They're going to help you understand how to use that technology, question and answers. Hey, I don't know how to do this inside of my management system for this specific company. Guess what? There'll be somebody there that's going to help answer and help you get those issues and problematical stuff with your systems complete as well. So we're only going to continue to grow it better. Be on the lookout for that stuff. Danny, thanks for having me on the show, brother.
Oh yeah,
we're going to be doing another one, and I'll show you kind of how I built out my internal chief technology officer ecosystem.
Oh, all right. Yeah, let's do that.
That helps keep me organized with what tech we've got, what issues we're having, how we can get better, and what down the line of foreseeable future of what we need to implement 6, 12, 18, 24 months down the road. So for Danny Lawrence, Mitch Gibson, thanks for listening to another episode of Talking Tech with the old DL, Danny Lawrence. I'm Mitch Gibson. Always remember that you can make a difference. Check you later, everybody.